Hi guys, this is John Strawn and welcome to part 7 of this tutorial. Today we are going to deal with the rigging and the drivers. And last time we saw how to apply some textures on the kayak, and if you want you can continue to apply the texture also to the footrest, just to apply some images about carbon fibers, carbon plier. But today I'm going to apply directly the rigging and not deal with the texture because we is the same technique I use as for when we apply the image to the bow to the rudder. Okay. So we're going to start with the rigging, and we are going to apply an armature to the footrest. So when I move the footrest, I move the rudder. Let's start and hit 7, and so it 3 to the 1 to have the side view, and let's go in edit mode and select vertices and Shift S cursor selected to move the cursor here, and now Shift A, and we add a single band. Okay, going to scale and rotate. Okay, I move it up. Okay, rotate a little bit, and okay, and just name this hit then, and we're going to name so kayak rigging, while the bond is the footrest dot r. Jump to top view and Shift D, grab along y-axis, and we name this footrest.l. So left and right. Now what we do is to jump to side view. Oops, sorry. Oops. Select the layers, jump to side view, and Shift A, single bond, no, not in this way. I don't want to create another object, so what I do, select this, go in edit mode, and Shift A, I create another bond. So scale down and rotate by 90 degrees, scale down a little bit, and grab, jump to top view, and move. Where is the rudder? Okay, name it rudder rig. Let's say rudder rig. And now I split this view. And jump to side view. Okay. Here, just rename this footrest rig L and footrest rig R. Okay. Now, what do we want to do is to associate the object kayak to the armature. So what I do is to select the object, select the armature, Control P, and set parent to the armature with automatic weights. Okay. Let's see what happens when we go to the pose mode. When I rotate, okay, it means that the rudder moves. So let's see. Oops, rotate along z-axis. Okay, works nice. Important. It's important that the other vertices keep their relative position. They move again with the rudder. Okay. Instead, for the footrest, when I move the footrest, I have some problem. Okay. So now what I do is select the mesh, go in edit mode, and here in vertex group there are the vertices we have created when we have made the parent between the mesh and the rigging. Let's see, when I select the rudder, is just the rudder. Okay, let's see, select something. There is some vertex that doesn't belong to rather in the or this one. I don't know it. This one, oh, I delete this. That's X, delete. Okay. So when I select the rudder, okay, the rudder is okay. Instead, deselect the footrest rig R, select everything. So what I have to do is just remove, and also for the footrest rig we have to remove these vertices. So when I select, just remove also this and remove also this. Okay, deselect, check now. No vertices is selected, no vertices is selected, because what we have to do now is to select this. So you have to make a parent relationship between the mesh, footrest mesh, and the rig. So select the object mode, this one and this one, Control P. Oh, really? Just for the mesh and Control P with automatic weights. Yeah, right. And now, when I select the footrest, go in edit mode. I have the footrest rig, and now what I do is hit L and footrest rig and select assign, keeping the weight 1. So we leave the weight 1 and we do the same with the footrest all. Just assign, so check or select. Oh no. So what I have to do is select this, select this, select this. Footrest rig is selected and remove. We remove all these vertices from the footrest rig R. And I select this, and this time I select footrest rig L, this one, and I remove. So now when I select the footrest rig R, okay, works, the L works, okay. So let's check now how the rig works. Select the pose mode, when I rig, oops, and side view. When I rotate, something doesn't work. Something doesn't work. Let's see why. And come to weight painting. Select this. Hit T. and select tool, makes subtract. Okay. Okay, now should work. Let's see. Go object mode, side view, rotate. And we have to grab this here. So rotate. Oh, now works. Now it's working nice. Works well. And so we repeat the same operation for this. Going edit mode, we move here, and select the view, select the 3D cursor, and oops, rotate. No. So Shift S, cursor to select it, and just rotate. Okay. So let's try if it works. Use boost mode, footrest R, rotate. Let's see, something you see don't work. So what we do is select the mesh, go to wet painting, and check that the tool substroke is enabled. And okay, you can adjust the mesh if you want, as this is the main idea. And see, now works nice. You see, now works nice. Okay. And now back to with object mode, and we check again the rudder from the top view, rotate. Okay, the rudder works nice. Now we are going to add some constraints to the rudder, some limit location for sure, because the rudder cannot move. So we limit all the location along the axis X, Y, and Z, and select local space. But what also we had to add is limit rotation, always in local space. And it's really when you rig something, it's always really important to check the relative axis. So what we have to do, we have to allow just the rotation around the x-axis. So on x-axis, y0 and z0, and x we allow a rotation setting -45 and maximum 45. Jump from top view, I want to hit our x. Sorry, we have to rotate. Okay, we are rotating just around the x-axis. Okay. And I think 45 is the right angle. Yeah. Okay. Now we have to do the same for this, the footrest R and rig R and footrest rig left. Add some constraints, and also for this the rotation, the location is locked. So select a remit location, always in a local space. We do the same with the other. Limit location. Okay. Oops. Local space. And we add also another constraint that is the rotation. This time we have to rotate. The rotation is along the z-axis, as you see. And alter. So a limit to rotation, and what we do, so it's not possible to rotate along x and y, but select local just along z-axis, say 0, 35. Okay, so when I rotate there. Okay, this is the angle allowed. Let's say also 40. Okay, and I will do the same with this one. Position x, y, 0, 40, local space. Okay, works. And now what do we want to do? When I push the footrest left, when I push the footrest, I have to move the rudder to the left, to the right. When I push instead the footrest to left, the rudder has to move to left. So I'm going to create a transformation, and what I do is to hit A and Alt R to delete the rotation. So now what we want to do is to apply a kind of a rotation to the footrest dot rig dot underscore L and to the footrest underscore rig underscore R. So both the foot, they have to rotate along the z-axis. So remember, when you are working with the bones, always select the axis here. So we want to apply transformation constraint, because what we want to do is while the footrest rotate along the z-axis by minus, let's say 40-45 degree, the rudder has to move along the x-axis, as you can see here. And so when I rotate the footrest, the left footrest, the rudder has to rotate versus right towards left. While when the footrest rotate towards right, the rudder has to turn to right. Okay, so and let's set the parameter, and the target has to be the kayak rigging, and the bone is the rudder. So the footrest behaves like the destination, while the source is the rudder. So for the rudder, we said that it has to rotate along the x-axis. So set 45 degrees. We are working on the footrest, the left footrest, while the destination, remember the destination is the footrest, and set always rotate, but this time is along the z-axis. Remember to select the local space, okay, and the z-axis. So we select this one, while here is the axis refer to the source bone, and we know the source bone rotate along the x-axis. So select X, and the angle is 0.35. Let's say 35. Okay. So when I rotate, something doesn't work because we have to check extrapolation. Oh, because really we have to move this one. So jump to top view. We have to rotate. Okay, it moves. For a better transformation, we select enable the extrapolate option, and it works nice. Okay, so and remember that we have also set the limit rotation. So here you can set also a larger value, but the rudder rotates respecting the limit rotation. Okay, and we can set this as the first option, first constraint. Let's see if it works. Yeah, okay. And for the right footrest, we do the same. We add a transformation. Oops, sorry. We add a transformation, and selecting always the kayak rigging, the rudder rig, select the extrapolation, boost the rotation, select the local space. Okay, and the source is always the rudder, but this time the rudder has to move towards right. So for negative angles, what we set is the source is but okay, it's negative angles, but we are working in local space. So let's say, yeah, we work on local space, negative angles. So let's say 0 minus 45, always along the x-axis. Yeah. While the destination, we have to set z x is the axis constraint of the destination bound of the source bound, and set 0.35. Okay, now just test, rotate, and it works nice. So the rudder rotates to right, and this rig, the right, rotates, while when the rudder rotates to left, the left footrest rotates. So we have created the right rigging. But what we want to do is also to create a driver that can command the rudder movements and the footrest rotations. What we do is now is to jump to object mode. Really select the pose mode and hit A and Alt R to delete all the rotations, and select object mode, and we are going to Shift A. We are going to add another bond that will be the driver bond, single bond. Okay, I'm going to scale it down, just name as so let's say, where is the name? Okay, here. So this is the driver. Okay, and this is the driver bond. Okay, so once we have created the name, and I hit 10 again, and what we do now is create some driver. To create some driver, select the mesh and go in edit mode. What we do now is select the rudder. So just select one point of the rudder, hit Alt to select all the mesh, all the points connected, and go to shape keys. We have to go back to the object mode and create 3 shape keys, the basis and 2 keys. And now the Q1 that I'm going to say rotate left. So call rotate left, while this will be rotate right. Okay, rotate left. Just what we do is select this point, Shift S to move the cursor to the point selected. Now I'm going to select as pivot 3D cursor and select the rudder, hit L, top view, and we are going to hit R minus 45. Okay, this will be the rotation. Sorry, this is the right location. So the left one has to be right 90. Okay, this is the rotation left. So click on our hit on our keyboard R90. Okay. Oops, sorry, rotate 90. Okay, confirm. While the rotate right will be R minus 45. Okay, so we have created, as you can see, rotate right, rotate left, and the bases. And now we are ready to create the drivers. Select the rotate left, and with the button of our mouse, we right button, click add driver. Okay. Now we jump to the graph editor, and we have here the rotation. Now it's really important to set this parameter, like for transform channel, before transform channel we have to select the driver. The driver will be the average value, and here we have to select our driver that will be driver, this one, and the bond is the driver bond. The rotation, so we have to check the rotation. Let's check. We have to enable the axis, so the driver rotates along the x-axis. So X rotation, select local space, and I will leave this function, that is the function of a line that passes to the center of the axis with the slope like 1. Okay, while the rotation to left will be the same. So the average value, transform channel, and select driver bond. X rotation as before, local space. Oh, everything like before, but now the line has to be a function. The function of the line has to be a negative slope. So let's set -1 here. So these two lines have different slope, and so allow us to rotate the driver in versus positive and negative angles. Okay, let's see if it works. And select the pose mode. And really, what I want to do is to move this, select grab, and move near the rudder. Okay, select pose mode, hit Z, and we're going to rotate. And now we see that it works. Oops. Something doesn't work when I rotate to right. Left is okay. So right, we set -1. Oh, we have to update dependency. And okay, now works. Sorry. So yeah, remember you have to always remember to update dependency. And now we have to set the same driver, so with the same settings, not for the rudder but for the footrest. Okay. And for the footrest, we have to create some three shapes as before. Let's name this rotate left, and let's name this rotate right. Okay. And so hit Z, and we know the rotate left is this one. But what we have to do is select the pivot, create this point where that is the center of this barrel will be our pivot. So Shift S cursor to select it, select the pivot. Our pivot will be the 3D cursor, and hit L to select left footrest that we're going to rotate -35. Okay. Oh, sorry, this we have to move the, so no, rotate 35 again. We have to rotate right is referred to the right footrest, so hit L and rotate -35. Okay, now work. And rotate left, just select this one, hit L and set the rotation as -35. Now, as you can see, we have created 3 shape keys. Okay, and now add the driver, right click of the mouse, and so here we have these 2 drivers. So for these 2 drivers, we have to set the same parameter of the rudder. Okay, and so rotate right value, so the right value and left value. So rotate right, we have to select average value, transform channel. Oops. We select the driver, X rotation, this driver bond, local space, and we have the right. We remember that the right rotation has a negative slope of the line, so set -1, and this one instead for the rotation, left rotation, we have to set slope as +1. X rotation, local space, select driver bond, there's the average value. Okay, check the update dependency always, and you have to check if it works. So set this as 3D view, and when oops, when I rotate, oops, sorry. So Oops, I have to deselect the 3D cursor as pivot and set it as medium point. So right, rotate right, okay, rotate left, and it works nice, as you can see. So let's see, it works nice. Rotate right, it works. So guys, that's all for this tutorial. See you next tutorial, and thanks for your attention. Okay, bye.